I get scared when it comes to heavy weights, and I feel justified because uh, cope. And when I was 10 years old, God taught me a valuable lesson by sending my iPod to the other world, so to speak. And yeah, I dropped some light weight on the bench. I was probably benching like one plate. Right. No, not at 10 years old, actually. I was probably benching like 85 pounds, and I dropped it on my iPod, my iPod Touch, right? It was a little touch screen iPod, and I broke it. So that was a nice lesson. Of course, I'm not an idiot. I know that if you fall down, you get hurt. If you get scratched, you get hurt. We're not gods on this earth, so to speak, in that kind of way that we'd be like permanent, invincible. I don't have to tell you this, right? Everyone knows what nerves are. But when it comes to lifting weights, there's something really scary about 1 second you're okay, and the next second, your body is forced into a position that is not sustainable, right? Whether that means you break a bone or a muscle or a tendon rips or God knows what kind of injury, right? It's scary. It's scary knowing something could happen. Your knee goes backwards. Oh, the leg press, that leg press thing. People always think about the leg press. What if I have 1,500 pounds on it and my knees go backwards? Um, it's scary. Just check out my buddy here. Look at him. Look at this guy. Uh, yeah, he just runs up to one side like he's gonna like he's gonna lift one side of the barbell, right? It's so funny to me, but I laughed about it with him, and I told him, he's pretty new to lifting. Actually, he only started about less than a year ago, and he's made a ton of progress. But I told him, spot correctly. Don't go for one side. I literally talked about this in just like a video or two ago. Uh, Spot correctly. Get behind the person, lift up the chest and the bar the correct way, and support them. Don't run for one side of the weight and cause even more imbalance. Uh, I did not have collars on, so if anything was going to happen, the weight was going to fall off the bar. I told him that. I was like, hey, dude, just let me die under the barbell. Like, that's my only wish. So he's like, okay. And he didn't, try to do it again, but it is scary. And I feel for him because he was worried for me. And I've been worried for people under the barbell, watching them as well. And I'm squatting some heavy weights here, heavy for me. Okay, 215. This is the heaviest I've done for reps in about, I don't know, 6 months. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track super closely, maybe 6 months. So it's scary. It doesn't look good. And my form, by the way, is not super good. He was telling me, yeah, dude, you're leaning to the right. Like you leaned over, it looked like the plates were gonna start slipping. So I wanted to like go and help out. But of course, that's not gonna happen. Uh, and I'm glad he didn't like actually go for it. He stopped himself. And I didn't, lean far enough to cause the plates to slip, but it is scary. It sucks. Like it's so nerve-wracking. Uh, you can make the argument for collars or not. Lately, I haven't been using them. Most of the time, I use them. I recommend them most of the time. But like if you're benching by yourself with no safeties, I'm not putting the collars on because I know I'm gonna drop that weight. To be honest with you, if I'm like maxing out, I'd rather let the weight slip. I'd let her, I'd rather control the eccentric, right? Control it on the way down as much as I can, and drop the weights on the ground. Um, and that's okay. I let go of the ego. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that with the RDLs. But clips on those are nice too, just because it keeps the plates in place and potentially it makes your set longer. If you're doing a long set, like a set of, I don't know, 10 reps, 20 reps, 30 reps, if you've gone into this like real fitness kind of stuff, it's nice to have the clips on just because the weights stay in place. But if you're doing 5 reps, powerlifting, who cares? Like I'm doing 5 squats. Okay. I'm not putting the clips on. It's okay. I've done this for 10 years. And if there's people around and there's a risk of the plates dropping on them, I will put them on. So we got to manage these things. But I was alone. Actually, I was with my buddy, but, he knows don't stand there. And I wouldn't lift the weight right next to him. And, thankfully, nothing happened. Of course, if I ever dropped some weight on someone because I didn't put the collars on, that really suck. So just got to look out for those moments and don't fall into it. But that doesn't really have to do too much here. The squats were all right. Even though there was a bit of leaning, my form wasn't great. I was able to do 4 sets of 5 with 215. So I'm still doing this linear progression each workout. And I think it's ending soon. Like I can't really resume this. My form's kind of starting to break down, but I feel good. I feel strong. I feel the best I've felt strength-wise since I injured myself, since I injured my knee last year. So that's a really good sign. I've really built myself back up quite well, and I'm almost strength-wise at that point now. So it's really good. Yeah, my RDLs are also progressing very, very well. I mean, 260 for 6 is pretty solid for me. I've never hit this weight in RDL before, so this is a PR. And it just feels good being, back at it. It feels like scary lifting heavy weights. Even the RDLs, like I could just totally mess up my back doing these. But it is what it is. We risk it for the biscuit. We go for it because there's a reward. I know when I do these RDLs, I'm going to get some real strong hamstrings. I'm hitting that posterior chain. I'm balancing out the quads, right? I'm supporting my knee. I'm hitting these Cossack squats. I'm getting deep. I'm getting strong in that stretch position. I'm getting flexible and mobile. I'm feeling good. Actually, I don't feel good doing the Cossack squats at all. They're so awkward and uncomfortable, especially after my knee injury, but they're almost there. They're getting a lot better. And very soon, I'll be at that full range of motion and I'll be getting my splits and it's going to be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. Lifting the heavy weights is scary, but once you get through those reps, through those sets, it's all good and you feel really good for the rest of the day and even the rest of the week. Thank you for watching. Click that link below to work one-on-one with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.